Insights of All Trades podcast.
And it wasn't until my junior year where I actually discovered, I think I read a paper on microbiomes. And I thought that when I went to graduate school, I would have to choose between like my love for endocrinology or love for microbiomes. And then I randomly decided to like Google search it one day. And it turned out that they're very connected.
Nice.
So that's how it kind of led into what my doctoral research is.
And so you found somebody at Cornell. Is that so? Can you walk people through the process of applying to a PhD program? Because actually, I'm really not familiar with it either. But I know you kind of go based on meeting a mentor, right? And then if it's a good fit between you two.
Yeah, this would be good. Maybe we can differentiate between like how grad school works and how med school works.
Yeah.
For people that may be thinking about applying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what normally happens, and this also depends on the program, but you identify a particular advisor that you're interested in and you shoot them an email. It's really opposite from how med school is, where you just like submit a whole bunch of applications to multiple schools. For grad school or for PhD programs, you are really selective into who you send emails to.
Okay.
And then if it seems like you're going to be a good fit for the lab, they'll set up like a Skype interview with you.
Okay.
You Skype, you talk about your interests some more, and then they'll formally invite you to submit an application to the program. And it also depends on the program.
Or they won't if they don't like you.
Right. Yeah, some PIs will just say they don't have room, but they might. Yeah. But depending on the program, it depends on if your PI, so PI meaning principal investigator. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, but it depends on if they have a big grant. They might have a position written into the grant to fund you as a grad student.
Okay.
Or you may have to go through like a committee decision to actually get into the department.
Okay. So if they're not funded by a grant, does the funding come through
the department?
Okay.
Yeah, so the funding could come through like teaching assistantships.
Okay.
So that's a very common way that grad positions are funded is you are employed as a teaching assistant in like a big lecture class for undergraduates.
So have you been doing some TAing?
I have not yet.
Okay.
I'm on fellowship right now.
Okay. What does that mean?
So fellowship is, so let's say that your PI doesn't have their own grants to pay you as a grad student. There's always the option to be a TA, but students also have the opportunities to write external fellowships where you get the money from an outside organization and then you can take it with you wherever you want to go. Oh,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So it's like kind of like writing a grant for yourself.
Yes.
Almost. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So you can write a grant and then you can get basically like living expenses paid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what I did when I was a senior undergraduate. I wrote one and got 3 years of funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's a big difference between med school and,
it is, yes.
and doing a PhD is just the funding in general. So we have to pay like tuition, obviously.
Right.
Whereas you guys kind of get paid, not well, right? But
yeah, it depends on where you go. So I'm doing my I'm getting paid to go for my PhD. I get free health insurance, free tuition, and then I get, I think like depending on the area and the living expenses there, it can be anywhere from $20,000 to $35,000, depending on where you are.
Of like a stipend each year? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. And then it also depends on like PhD versus master's. Master's students usually get paid a little less.
Okay.
But
in some master's programs, you have to pay for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking to go for a master's to do research, don't pay for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Try and find some place.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work. I mean, because now doing research, everything.
Oh yeah.
It is. It's you get to make your own schedule in a way, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work out, then that's like, depending on how long your project, that's like 6 months of wasted. Well, not wasted, because like negative results are just as important.
Right, exactly.
So somebody else doesn't, spend their time looking for the same thing, but. It is really disheartening to like. It
is.
There's no really association here.
Right. Yeah. Especially in our field. So in ecology, you only have a couple months to collect your data. So for me, the birds breed May through July. Wow. So let's say I collect data and then it turns out that my manipulation didn't work. I have to wait a whole another year before I can do it again.
So what do you do in the whole time between that?
So at that time we analyze all of the data.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do all the lab work. our lab is really into outreach. So we do lots of public presentations. Yeah.
Nice. So as a PhD student, are you taking classes right now also, or
so it also depends on it depends on the program.
Okay.
So my PhD program at Cornell only required one class.
The whole time, or just
whole time?
Wow.
So and it was just the professors came in and gave a little research talk, and then you read one of their papers and discussed it.
Huh.
And that was my only class required.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so once you reach like the level of a PhD, it's kind of on you to learn what you need to learn.
Yeah.
So my advisor's philosophy is just audit classes. So audit is in go in and sit and learn the material, but you don't have to take it for a grade.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, depending on the graduate school, your GPA kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. So do you still have to register for those classes, or can you just kind of go in and sit there and chill?
I can just go in.
That's cool.
Yeah, usually like shoot the professor an email. But yeah, they're usually pretty chill about it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay. So you had one class that you took and you're already done with it?
Yeah, I'm already done. So now I'm just doing research. And then I have a 1-year teaching requirement, but I'm going to push that off till my 4th year.
Okay. So that's like a TA type thing?
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's the stress level like in grad school?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with your advisor, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, my advisor is wonderful. She's, some advisors are like, you have to work 9 to 5 every day. But she's just like, come in and get your work done.
Yeah.
And there's like no vacation policy, so I can kind of just take off when I want to.